So your home didn't sell, it came off the market, it either expired, it was withdrawn from the market, or it was canceled off the market. These are the three ways that a home leaves the market, and let me explain the differences. Expired means the contract duration, typically 6 months, finally reached its maximum and it expired off the market. You are now out of contract and the home should automatically come off the MLS and it's an expired done deal. When a property is canceled off the market, that means the seller, the owner of the property, said, listen, tired, done, don't want it for whatever reason, cancel it. Now the agent needs to cancel it, pull it off the MLS, unless the agent decides to press it a little bit and say, wait a minute, we're still under contract. You might end up selling the house to some people that we've shown the house, or maybe someone that happens to come traipsing along. I still want to be paid a commission. So I'm going to not cancel it, but I'm going to leave it into a withdrawn status. So it will be withdrawn off the MLS. It will come off the MLS, but you are still under contract. If a buyer happens to come to your property, you close a deal, be careful because you very possibly can owe that agent a commission still if it's within that time frame of the contract. So please be wary of all those. Unfortunately, a lot of sellers, when they enter a contract, an agent doesn't really explain all of those dynamics. They should, and sometimes people should ask a few more questions. But if somebody's not being very transparent and explaining everything, this is where you really got to keep an eye on these kind of things, okay? So those are the three ways a property could come off the market. But let's say this has happened to your property. Now you find yourself in this situation. What do I do? How do I get this property moving now? I need to sell. I don't only want to sell, but I need to sell. Maybe my job location, maybe we're going to a different school, maybe we're downsizing or upsizing. We found a beautiful dream home that's on the other side of town. Whatever the reason is, you need to sell, okay? So now what do you do? What you need to do is find a listing agent. You probably list it with a realtor, and all realtors work with selling properties and buyers, listings and buyers. But here's the big differentiator, is there's not a lot of agents that focus on listing and selling homes. They work with buyers, we all work with buyers. But there's a select few agents that will go ahead and take on listing properties and calling themselves and becoming a listing agent. Somebody who lists the properties, communicates properly with people, with sellers, and understands all the negotiating tactics and skills behind that, and how to price a property and how to market a property. These are the things a great listing agent will bring to the table for you. So these are the kind of things that you want to really investigate and research and make sure that the agent, the realtor that you're hiring, focuses on that, has experience in that, and they're bringing that skill set to the table and their dollars behind it because they're going to invest money into selling your home. So this is why a good listing agent really needs to come and have a conversation with you and talk and be able to understand where everything sits and we're all on the same page as far as price and what we feel the market can bring for your home. So you're comfortable going forward. The listing agent is comfortable going forward. And then there we go, off to the races, right? But everybody's got to be on the same page at the end of the day. So what do you do though when your house comes off the market, either expires, it cancels, or is withdrawn? Here you are, you need to sell. And now I've given you some new knowledge that you need to find a listing agent. And what does that listing agent do? What is it that they do is so different than just an average typical realtor, besides investing money behind their name that they could potentially lose by putting it into your property to get this property moving through proper marketing? What is that proper marketing? Let's talk about that. Well, number one and most important is going to be the photography. That has to be done spot on. I mean, this is a big, 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 big deal. No, it's not about snapping a couple cell phone pictures. If that's happened to you, oh boy, somebody better run for the hills because that's not how you do it. We need a professional photographer, and we need a professional photographer who specializes in real estate, selling homes, how to accentuate the positives, how to get the right angles, how to show the home as the eyes of a buyer that is coming to this property and taking a look at the home. Now, we have a very short amount of time to catch people's attention out of all the different properties that are out there. And if you're in a buyer's market or a neutral market where there's more inventory, there's more homes to look at, all the Zillows and Realtor.coms and Trulies out there, social media, YouTube, all the channels out there, all the portals, there's so many properties flooding the market. You need to really stand out. So if a buyer is looking for whatever dynamic you happen to have in the home that you're selling, we need to make sure we're presenting that to the market in the correct way. So, photography number one. I like to meet my photographer there personally and be there at the property because I want to make sure that we are definitely on the same page with the photographer and that he's seeing my vision as well that I want to show the market with my experience of over 18 years or so in real estate and understanding what buyers are looking for. Because I've been with many of them that are looking at the internet with me, or we're having lots of conversations, or I'm walking through lots of doors with them, and I'm learning what certain types of buyers are looking for and what they're not looking for. Even more importantly, right? So we have to take all these things into account and we have to prepare a proper presentation. Now, your house is already on the market for probably 6 months, sometimes 12 months because you ran twice already. Some people just decided to list with the same agent. Why? Because the agent talked to the seller and said, listen, it's not me. It's not my marketing. It's not the price. It's the market. It's the market. Well, the market can have a little something to do with it, but you have to be able to follow the market, pay attention to the market, and adjust to the market. If you need to get your home sold, there's ways around that, like pricing strategies. We need to come up with one of the 3 pricing strategies that are very popular and very effective, and either one is going to be fine, but I need to be able to explain them to you so you can easily understand, be very transparent with these pricing strategies so we can incorporate which one is going to work best for your home, okay? So number 1, pricing strategies. Number 2, the actual marketing and how we're going to put that into the MLS, the input that goes into the MLS. I've looked at lots of listings of expired listings on MLS, and there's lots of unchecked boxes because when we go to do input into the MLS, there's lots of things to check. You know, it could be gutters, could be, has rain gutters on it. It has covered, protected rain gutters. Maybe people are looking for that. It's got a downstairs bedroom, or it's got a downstairs master bedroom. Lives like a single story, although it's a 2-story, right? These are all different elements that are very important. Pool, private pool, in-ground pool or above-ground pool, or is it a community pool? People are looking for these things and they're putting in the criteria, and their agents are setting up criteria for them so they can look at these properties. Again, with pricing, there are strategies with the input that people are putting in there, the criteria for price searches. And we want to make sure we fall within those parameters that are going to get us more views and more action on your listing, okay? So that's just another element that we've got to add into this here. There's a lot more. I'm going to carry on in my next video about a few more items. I could talk for a while about this, but if you want more information about this, more details, you could always just go ahead and in the comments below, comment listing. And I'll make sure that I get you some information. Whatever questions you have, I'll answer those for you, okay? So comment listing below. We'll make sure we take care of that. And if you please also subscribe and hit a like for me, I would greatly appreciate that so I can keep bringing great information to you guys, okay? Until then, this is McCallum.